Hi guys, it's Shamsa and welcome back to my little kitchen. Now today I'm going to be sharing with you how I make chapatis, which are also known as rotis, at home. Now as you all know, I actually work on a ceramic hob, and ceramic hobs can be kind of difficult to work with when you're cooking rotis, especially because the chapati, the roti, doesn't turn out as fluffy and as soft as you want it to compared to when you're cooking on a gas hob. So today I'm going to show you how to get the most softest, the most fluffiest chapati, roti, whatever you want to call it, using a ceramic hob. So let me run through what you need and then we'll start cooking. So the ingredients you're going to need are 300 grams of chapati flour of your choice. Now I use elephant atta, which is the medium chapati atta. You also need 1 teaspoon of oil, and I have here 100 milliliters approximately, give or take, might be slightly more, slightly less, of lukewarm water. And it has to be lukewarm water when we come to knead our dough, because that's what's going to give us our soft fluffy chapatis. So let's start cooking. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just add around a teaspoon of oil into my chapati flour, just like that, and just give that a mix. And now we're just going to add the water in. And because I know that this much flour takes this much water, I'm just going to add all of it in and just make sure that I bring all of that dry flour together. And there you have that. That's the type of dough you're looking for. So it's not too hard and it's not too soft. And all we're going to do now is we're just going to get a clean tea towel and we're just going to cover that and let that rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll make our chapatis. So I'll see you guys back in about 10-15 minutes time. So guys, the dough has had 15 minutes of resting time and it's nice and soft as well, and not too hard but enough to be able to sort of like move it around, and that's what you want. So all I'm going to do is just sort of like give it one final knead before we actually start making our chapatis. There we are. Just pop that there. Got my rolling pin here. Got some dry chapati flour in a bowl because we need that obviously. So all you need to do is just take your dough, and what I like to do is I like to divide it between sort of like 4 portions. So halve the dough first of all, and then halve it again, which will give you like 4 chapatis, which are kind of equal. Like that. Make sure they are more or less equal, and pop the rest back inside and work with one. So dip the chapati dough into flour, and we're going to make the chapati bowl now. So just work that and just sort of like in the middle of your palm like that, and then take your hand, your right hand and your fingers, and push it right into the middle like that, whilst working it at the bottom as well. So use the palm of your left hand but the right fingers to just roll that and bring all that dough from the sides into the middle, and then just lift it up and pinch it, so you're bringing everything together like that. You can do it like this as well, and then turn it over and just give it a roll, and that seals the back of it, and you've got a really nice dough there. You've got a really nice dough ball there, actually, not a dough. Now just flatten that down like that, and I'm just going to get it and just dip it into the dry flour again. Now all you need to do is just roll it out into a circle, which is the traditional chapati sort of like shape. So I'm just going to do that. Now there's many different ways of rolling a chapati out. The one that I use is basically where I put pressure on, and I'm going to show you, and it's going to, you basically put pressure on but not a lot of pressure, and all you do is you just sort of like keep turning it around with the rolling pin. Now if you can't do this method like this where it's going round and round in a circle, all you need to do is just roll it out one way, pick it up, turn it the other way, roll, do the same thing again, and keep on doing that, and you're going to have the perfect chapati, which is perfectly round. And there you have it. That's my perfectly rolled out chapati. Now one thing I will advise, when you're working with a ceramic hob, an induction, an electric hob, you want to make sure your chapatis are not wafer thin. So you want them slightly more thicker, and that is the thickness that we're looking for, because once you cook them, they'll dry out. So that's just one of the top tips to remember. And now I'm gonna move my camera over and show you how to make these chapatis. Right, okay, to make your roti, I've got myself a tawa, which is the traditional thing that we use to make our rotis on. Now I've got a really heavy based one because I'm working with a ceramic hob, and the heavier based pots or tawa that I use is better. I picked this one up from Morrison's. I'm sure you can get it from any sort of like supermarket that sells Asian sort of like cookware. Now, normally, traditionally, we would cook the roti straight on top of a tawa like that. But because with the ceramic hob, the heat is so intense, we're going to use an indirect heat method to cook the roti. And for that, I'm going to turn my hob on, and I'm going to turn it up to 9, which is the highest heat setting. And you'll see now that the hob has started to heat up. So that is on the highest heat setting. And we're going to be using the back of the tawa to make our roti. So indirect heat method. So it's nice and hot. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my roti and I'm just going to flip it between the palms of my hands like that, just to remove any excess flour. And then I'm going to put it straight on like that and allow it to cook until the top of the roti changes colour, and you'll see that. And that'll take about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. And I'll show you what you need to do next. Right, so you can see now that the colour of the roti has changed on top, and this indicates that we can now flip this roti over. If you don't want to use your hands, by all means, you don't have to. You can use a spatula to flip it over, but I'm quite used to doing this, so I'm just going to flip it over. Now, at the same time now, I'm going to turn my heat settings down to a 7, which is a medium heat setting for me. And again, we're going to allow the other side to cook for about a minute or two. And then we're going to, then I'm going to show you how to cook it properly after that. So I'm just going to move it around a little so it doesn't sort of like burn in one area. I'm just going to turn it over now. And I've got myself a clean tea towel. And with this, we're going to apply pressure and we're going to cook the edges like that. Just keep turning the roti around. You can see that it started to puff up really nicely. So again, just apply pressure at the edges because we want the edges to cook. And there you can see it's puffing away nicely, and that's what you want. So apply pressure where it started to puff to allow the other side to sort of like puff up as well. There we are. I'm going to turn it over now, and again do the same thing at the edges, because the middle we know will always cook, it's just the edges that need to cook. So again, just apply pressure and just keep turning the roti around like that. And we're going to do this about 2 or 3 times until we know that the edges are fully cooked and they're not raw. That's looking perfect. And I'm just going to turn my hob off, take it off the heat, pop it into my my plate, and then just get my knob of butter and just quickly smear that with a little bit of butter on top, which is going to help it sort of like stay nice and soft. And I'm just going to pop it into my tea towel where it's going to sit until I make the remaining lot. So guys, I have got my chapatis here, and this recipe has given me 4 chapatis. Now this depends on your dough ball size as well. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't want to make too thin chapatis, especially on a ceramic hob, because they will actually dry out. So this is the perfect sort of like quantity, 4 chapatis out of the recipe that I've given you. And I'm just going to pop this down and I'm going to show you just how soft and pliable that is. So you can sort of like bend it, it doesn't crack or anything. And that is the perfect roti to serve up with your curry. I'm just going to try a little bit now, just on its own, because hey, roti's good just on its own as well. Soft, perfect. Oh my god, so good. Like I mentioned, roti goes with any type of curry out there. We eat it daily, to be honest. I mean, I used to do when I was living with my mum, but I don't make it that often here because of the ceramic hob, but we do enjoy our rice as well. So yes, there you have it guys, the perfect chapati roti on a ceramic hob. Now, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have done, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't also forget to subscribe to the channel, like always, and turn your bell notifications on to never ever miss amazing videos like these. I'll catch you next week with a new one. Till then, take care and happy eating.